Oh, YouTube got with it. Oh, I can sit down again. Oh. And they see now the problem is I got to paste some links into this fucking chat box, and I can't, because if I do that, see this split screen you invented? For some reason, your browser that you invented with the setting that allows me to control the zoom doesn't. The website you run decided to reconfigure that so it does control the zoom, and I don't, so I can't paste the link. We'll get to it. Actually, maybe. Let's do this. So, the Canadian Anti-Hate Network is monitoring the anti-maskers, I guess, anti-lockdowners, and I guess if there's an anti-vax community. They're monitoring all of them the same as white supremacists and every other type of hate group. Yes, so the mic thing indicator is working. Yes, I have to use 2 phones and the box to stream. Yeah, I know. You think you're not cut. So they always talk about how we're restricted in things we can do because of our status in life or whatever. They always talk about how we can't get it done. No, we get it done. We just have to use more resources to do it than we should. Did any white person out there ever try to do a stream and any part of the site didn't work perfectly? Get the fuck out of here. How do I know? Because for the first 4 to 6 months I was doing this, and they thought I was white because they don't listen. It worked perfectly. Everything on here worked perfectly. Oh, and everything I complain about, if the niggers are complaining about it, that goes to the bottom of the list to get fixed. As we've seen with 30 months of trying to get the ventilation system turned on. It's a switch. It's illegal to turn the switch off. There's supposed to be a padlock over it. So the titles of the following 30 fucking videos are correct. That's all I'm getting into. We've been at this 8 hours, and whoever the fuck keeps deciding to side with pedophiles keeps deciding to side with pedophiles, and we don't, so they are going to pick on us and then blame it's your own fault. And why is that? Oh, you know, buddy, just say nigger. Oh, please. At least the KKK type white supremacists, you know what they think. They ain't pretending. These idiots up here, they're just trying to get close to your kids. It's 3, 4, 5 o'clock. It's 3, 4, 5 o'clock. It's 3, 4, 5 o'clock. Oh, all my alarms are turned off. Right, I forgot to hit the clock thing. Oh, well, too late to fix that later. Oh, Control V, tab, spacebar. Then that will take you to an article. Now remember, it's written in English. So anywhere you see a quote, it's been translated. So if you are a francophone, you go over and over and over, but it's there. So the word is Islam, not Islamism, but I suspect that has to do with translating to French, about whatever, just a loan word in French, to English. It was Islam, not Islamism. And then this thing about having sworn to destroy. Well, here's the problem. You're still teaching them it's Islam that they're there to destroy. You've never met a Muslim if you think Islam is something bad. Oh, those guys screaming blah, blah, blah. Well, the KKK screams about Jesus Christ while they hang a nigger. So I don't see it. Do I blame 30,000 denominations of Christianity? Remember where is it? Salvation Army is a blah 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 unit of the Christian Church. 30,000 denominations. I don't know what track it's on. Remember, it was 4 o'clock when this shit started.
I'm on the block with a couple raps on me. Oh, you motherfucker.
I'm gonna call this Black Cop Training Day. up what PSRT is. PSRT, that could be a lot of things.
My face soured up like
Milk when it goes bad.
Could have made a name, but got a toe tag. They could have cyphered with me, they need a notepad. I put the hit in the house, I'm like a cold dad. I put the hit in your mouth, you just a program. I ain't got respect for y'all here. I put the work in like a job fair. I put the work in my mind clears. Get hot oil with gorilla tape to an armchair. Never on a fast rapping, you ain't saying nothing. They want a nice and slow, cause that us should bump it. That boy, I make a drug, you know how much or something. You know there ain't no block in my make market. Pop, pop, that goes 2 shots. These youngers wildin' out. I'm Cool J in recess. Mama told me to knock him out. These youngers got no.
So what else did I cover in the last 3 hours of sitting here? Or what was it? It's 11:40. So it's 12 minutes to 12. Let's say it's 12. When did I get in here? 8 o'clock or something? I'm not even sure. Yeah, it's about right. That's about right. Because I don't have a wristwatch no more because a police officer stole it because it was worth a whole $300. So he can't afford one of those himself. That's how broke the cops are in Toronto. They're stealing Timexes. They stole a Timex, Your Honor. And as I said before, when I say Your Honor, I'm talking to the black judge. And if you, which one? There's a male and a female. You figure it out. I'm not even joking. 25 years ago in a court, I've appeared before and witnessed actually only one male black judge and one female black jurist. I don't even know if it's judge or justice of the peace, whatever, jurist. That's why I don't like saying judge, because half the time it's a justice of the peace. If the law says they're qualified to be a jurist, then they're a jurist. So what's the difference between justice of the peace and judge? Judges tell you if you're singing good enough to get a record contract, and jurists decide if you're a piece of shit enough to go back in the lockbox.
Respect 2 L's that's walking around and showing talent till they end up in a lost and found. You king of the city, then how you lost your crown? I'm king of the dot. That's organic about my gully sound. Yeah, you niggas just left familiar. Got white boys and bury out to a really good.
That's the same train. So that's the middle. There's call them pusher puller, or I call them centipede or something like that. They'll be. If you say Caterpillar, you're confusing things because it's the brand that makes the engines. They'll put 2 at the front, 2 at the back, and 1 in the middle. It's all digital PCM or whatever. It doesn't matter what method. It's all digital controlled. So all 5 locos are run by one person running the speed control or however it works. And if I remember correctly, it's a connector that runs out. I forget the fucking thing now. It's not a wire. It's I forget how the fuck that connects now. It's not wireless either.
Hit you with a pump and it's blooding up your.
Now that is twice, technically 3 times, I stopped the music and didn't say what I meant to say. So in one of the 3 dozen following videos I mentioned briefly that an hour ago, the news on Global News Radio, they mentioned that the Canadian Anti-Hate Network is treating hate groups and anti-maskers, anti-lockdowners, I hesitate to use the word anti-vaxxer because that's not a community. There's people out there that will say, yeah, I am against vaccines for this reason, and this reason. But if you say, are you an anti-vaxxer? Like, no, I don't think you understand the problem with what you're calling medicine. They're giving $3,600, $3,800, whatever, tuition. There's a contest. If you get vaccinated, one of the schools is going to give tuition for free to one of the people that's vaccinated. Oh, who can't get vaccinated? People with sickle cell. Again, you're discriminating against black people. And anybody with a blood disorder, anybody over a certain age. And yes, there's seniors and adults that go to all these schools too. This is Toronto. This is Canada. People come from all over the world to come to school there. And they don't pay $3,600. They pay $13,600. Why? Because the schools, these beloved institutions, are financed all to hell and subsidized from the Indian Capital Trust accounts. You want me to keep going? I don't. I don't know. I get away with playing much of this. I get away with a sample.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The 12 King Pimp Commandments.
Say 10, 11 again.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. The 12 King
10,
Pimp
11.
Commandments. Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay. All right.
I'm officially calling. It came out of my mouth. I'm officially calling, not to his face. I didn't see him. I'm officially calling this cop, this black cop, training day. That's the third locomotive on the train. That was all one train. PSRT. RT is probably response team. PS, the private school response team. The public shooting response team. The see, I don't.
I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Huh? You think you can do this shit? You'll never see the light of day. Who the fuck you think you fucking with? I'm the police. I run shit. The whole neighborhood screaming out dirty cops. Cause they up to no good.
Prison gang, we don't give a fuck.
Wanna slam me on the hood. Dirty cops try to rob me for my rights, but I know my rights. I know. The whole neighborhood screaming out dirty cops. Cause they up to no good. Fucking dirty cops.
You think we get favors? We don't get favors. We get shit on a lot by the system. I'll tell you something. When they're looking at 2 or 3, whatever people, it doesn't matter how many for parole or whatever. We do our shit away from where kids will see it, where it won't become a big fucking thing, a memory in the neighborhood. And every time they walk by the playground, hey, remember the Bloods? Blah blah blah. No. You idiots do all these things in public, fucking with people all the time, hurting all sorts of people you shouldn't be, exposing people to things they don't need to see. You think it's okay? It's not okay. We'll look up the ABOC, the ABO crime, Aboriginal based organized crime, and the reason it's ABOCs because there's Asian based crime, ABC, and then they started this ABOC. This is what the RCMP calls us. Look into their reports on us. We're the ones known for not having kids in the gang, not exposing people to shit. The whole war, whatever you want to talk about people back in the day, in the 90s in Manitoba, Winnipeg, was about people that wanted to sell drugs and fuck up families and hurt kids and elders and shit. And so we said, nah, I think we'll do it. And we'll keep the money and you can fuck off or die. It's your choice. $7 million courthouse. I don't know why that one's not 10. It would round up to 10. $7 million courthouse. And when they finished building it, everybody just pled out because it took so long to build. They got dead time, right? And then who was building that? Well, not so much about race, but that's the proletariat. The construction worker is a proletariat. Everything he does, every little, he's got to make it work and be correct. But there's somebody way up at the fucking top of the food chain telling him what to build. You know, like you're cutting stones to build a pyramid. You built it, but they don't call it your pyramid, right? I know my rights. I know. I'm on the block with a couple racks on me. 30 cops try to put a couple packs on me. Cruises nice, stick the fucking beat the black off me. Then I ran, fuck the maidens for this black coffee. Better back the fuck off me. I know my rights. Oh, you think a bruise won't show? I got sickle cell. Try to throw me on the ground on the cold last night. But fuck a dirty cop, you know that. And speaking of which, last time I went to the hospital for that, them security guards got charged with fucking murder for taking a white girl and smashing her head off a piece of marble for no reason. You think I'm lying, Your Honor? I got the piece of paper here. What's the date again? Let's see. January 16th, 2020. You can look that up yourself, sir. I got assaulted by the guard and the fucking doctor. I got assaulted by the guard and the doctor. And then they sent the black girl security guard over. I said something about why I don't understand why people being racist to me. Oh, well, I'm here, so it's obviously not racism. What? Let's see, what you people don't understand. It don't matter what I think, black, white, girls, whatever. This girl could have dropped on her knees and offered to suck my dick. I would have smacked her.
Find the cops and I pursue late night trying to find a prostitute. The whole neighborhood screaming out dirty cops.
You're gonna get fucked.
Cause they up to no good, fucking dirty cops. Wanna slam me on the hood, dirty cops. Try to rob me for my rights, but I know my rights, I know my rights, I know.
Oh, and if you're following it, where's the grate? My grate. Oh, fuck, the sun was up when I started this. Jeez, my grate. So I got a recycling bin here. Property of the Toronto Real Estate Board. No, I didn't steal it. I don't know who did, or if they abandoned it and someone was using it for something else, or empties. The mouse can get into the bin, and he can jump out. He's got to try twice. No, I'm going to trick him. I'm going to let the bin fill up, and then when I empty it later, I'm going to put the double chocolate muffin wrappers in there, but nothing else. So he'll go in there. Oh, the little bastard can hear me, yeah? He can hear rap music and smell weed. He knows it's safe to make noise. And then he probably won't be able to jump high enough. I caught one by accident at my last apartment in a 5-gallon bucket. He fell into the bucket somehow. And when I come home, he's jumping over and over, trying to jump over and over. He's this close to the top, jumping over and fucking over. He's this close to the top. I can't imagine what was going through his head. Then I went out again, came back, and my nosy dog had stuck his head in the bucket and knocked it over.
Ain't got shit on me. I'm the man up in this bitch. Dirty cops is good if you pay them all. Cause they could kill a nigga, they won't even lay them off.
Then you shoot him in the back of the head and rip him off.
Trying to plant drugs so they can send away.
You see me lighting spliffs after sip I took from the Molotov. Go get the Kalashnikov. That's a Matikov. When the rain's over, peanut butter block match when I put the thing to your head, I'm half done.
Well, miss a payment and find your ass up the river. Keep my dirty cops paid off like we got my nigga. If it's their word against yours, it's get it. Now you got a felony in a court case schedule. Get a good lawyer, my niggas, what you better do. Should have paid the dirty cop. Now you in federal. The whole neighborhood screaming out dirty cops cause they.
So that whole time you're paying what? The proletariat to be the COs. And you may not realize this or have ever thought about it. When you're actually in jail, the CO is the day-to-day interaction, unless he's a complete piece of shit. It's just like the normal small talk you would have with whoever brought your food to your door or whatever. Because guess what? Who's bringing things in and out of jails? It's the COs or the warden. It's not the lawyers. They get caught sooner or later. They might do it once or twice and then they get caught. They end up on the inside. They lose their lawyer-client privilege and all that shit in regards to that shit. What are you going to do? And the whole time you got to spend more money. We'll put you in jail if you do this or that. Okay, let's fill that jail. Didn't your Bible book say, I know if you're Francophone, I just said that twice, didn't I? Say something about there's a room for everybody in my Father's house. You built it on my land, I own it. I commandeer it.
Dirty cops try to rob me for my rights, but I know my rights, I know my rights, I know. You motherfuckers be playing basketball in Pelican Bay when I get finished with you. Yo, these niggas is swine, pigs in their prime, pick up and not committing.
So Gon Gotti, he pronounces it John, but he spells it with a G for reasons. But rap name reasons, whatever. But crime family name reasons. Sold his share of it was a clothing label. I don't want to say the wrong one or mispronounce it or whatever, for like $350,000 while he was inside doing a 3.5-year sentence. Or something like that. And these people act like we'll put you in jail. And
crimes. Giving us time for living in line, for living in line. Figure you niggas quiver inside when you see minority giving some shine. You see the problem is my melanin darker than what you peddling. Patent evidence to reach all your quota embellishments. You killing me free, but we get consecutive sentences. Shit will get settled quick if you take off your emblem, get knocked out, your jaw will get popped out. Take you off balance, miss a shot and get blocked out. Power trip because you was bully when you was a kid. You should be doing this for all the ruthless shit that you did, nigga. It's with the whole neighborhood.
So at one of the trap houses, whatever, I lived in a Queen and Broadview. I remember going to the store across the street and seeing on the front page of the newspaper about 2 New York cops that were committing murders for like murder for hire for the mafia or whatever. It was like the New York Post or something. What just happened? Oh, we're gonna start to have all sorts of problems, aren't we?
Oh, you motherfuckers. Okay.
So, with the ventilation system turned off, I smoked twice as many cigarettes, twice as much weed, and I'm so hurting for sugar and stimulation. I can't eat that I had to drink coffee after coffee after coffee. Let's see how long the ventilation stays on. It's been off two plus years, 3 calendar years, to all of 2019.
So like your stolen smoke, you doing my thing, and all these haters do is talk down on my name. But I ain't got nothing but game for y'all, so let me sit back, up, pass no problem. I shouldn't have to tell you about life the way it is. I went from a boy to a
Just what they want from me. These got some for me, but I should stay on my own. Look in the air, that's on me. You can count me out. That bitch count me in. Back race to me. They try to knock me down, but I win. I got more than my open. But I get accustomed to get in. Just let you let it in. These are the fields you can get in and win.
Log on to literally, so I can't
take you out of mama kitchen, I cook up in the dishes. That's the lifestyle I see us live in my mind, a prison. Got a mind ready shit that I done did. It ain't gonna me when it's too late, that shit so sad. I thought that that's when they should play. Back to my ways now, back to my ways now. I'm sitting already, ooh. I'm pushing through.
This is what I need for everything to ignore the inputs I give it, and then to take the inputs that Chomo Hacker is guessing I was giving it. That's not quite what I asked it to do. Looks like I'm gonna roll another one. Fuck it.
Yeah.
I'm no quit. Gregorian chant.
And mama know she didn't raise no quitter. You follow me just like a fan on Twitter. You know I'm just like a favorite child. If you let me get your goddamn man. Yeah. Mama know she didn't raise no quitter. You follow me just like a fan on Twitter. You know I'm just like a favorite child. If you let me get your goddamn man. Right, listen in. Teach you some discipline. The ABSTRAKT against the wicked fed laws. Don't come out at the job. Real gangsters acting more Iron Man than Tony Stark. Stop with the verbal bark. Y'all sound like kids. Blow your mind all the time. Whether freestyle the written. Did you bring your
Yeah. It's fine. Freak. I don't really care if you. I don't really care. I don't really care. All I want is care. I don't really care. I don't really care. For the money that we bullet fly. Cause you slipping up as a bullet fly. You couldn't hurt you. All your friends are dead. Fuck you and your friends. All your
Okay,
dead.
I know what this is. I'm not sure if I get away with playing it. Oh, that's what I wanted to do.
Red team. What up, nigga? Be slim. Be out here. Don't get close, nigga.
So, 2021, which would be like right now, is the 5th month of the year. We're approaching the middle, but sometime around the middle of this year, things will start to feel normal again. Well, they don't feel normal in most parts of the country. They don't. And so I don't blame people who hear the message will likely feel normal by the end of the year or early next year. I don't blame people who say, well, yeah, I've been there before.
Based on what?
But here's what's different, okay? They talk about variants in the vaccine. Here's the important variable. When that prediction was being made last year, we had no one vaccinated. And now, as of tonight in Canada, 39% of people have had a first shot.
We also didn't hear
And once
anything
again, I
about
know what the
variants.
pushback is. Yeah,
This time
exactly.
last year, I did not have
smaller than that.
COVID-20 yet.
Much less than 10% who've had the second shot. It's much closer to
Which is what I
5%.
called
What do you say about that, Chuck? What do you say? I say we've got work to do, is what I say. But the more people who get vaccinated, the more people who eventually have 2 shots, the safer all of us will be. The fewer the cases, we get the numbers every single day.
No,
The numbers will
factually
come down.
wrong. It's
In some
incorrect.
places in this country,
Your
numbers have
vaccination
been
protects you,
coming
nobody
down.
else. Your vaccination doesn't
And
protect anybody else because you
eventually,
become an
we'll get to
asymptomatic
something that
transmitter,
looks like normal.
which you wouldn't have been.
Now, the other thing I said in the first
No.
hour, and I know this is offensive to some people, I don't know how to live life without being optimistic. I honestly do not know how to have any quality of life unless I
Nicknaming
believe
you
that
shut
sometime
up,
down the road, things will get better than they are now. And in my personal experience, that's always the way it was. Whatever jackpot I was in, whatever trouble I was experiencing, it got better. If I had just believed 100% that things will only get worse, it's all over, I have no
This is
idea
also completely untrue.
whether I could have survived the
But every
jackpots
white
I was in.
supremacist
And I think
says it.
everyone
I don't
listening
know
right
why.
now knows what I'm talking about.
It's victim blaming,
Everybody
right?
who's listening to this show right now has had problems, has had troubles. And maybe it takes a lot of willpower. I don't know, because I don't know any other way. Maybe it takes a lot of willpower for some people to not become consumed by pessimism, especially if they're consuming media all day long.
Right. That's
Which
why.
got me to the question at the National Kitchen Table.
Reading is bad.
Uncomfortable
Reading is
question.
bad. Remember, it's always a woman's
I ask
voice saying
people
that on
to be
CRI.
reporters, to be
This idiot, the
pundits.
opposite takes place.
I asked
They
this
won't
question.
listen to anybody but an old white man. So
Do
we'll
you
have an old
think,
white man
based
tell
on
you to
your
get
own
off
circle,
the internet and stop reading.
that the people who are not paying much attention to media are much more optimistic than the ones who are doing nothing but paying attention
Those are the people
to
walking
media?
around
Less
with no
attention to
mask,
media, more optimistic about the future. Once again, an uncomfortable question for me, because I'm a media professional and I want people to pay attention to media for all the self-evident reasons. But every now and then I've got to take myself out of my own shoes and try to ask a question that connects with 99% of the population that is not doing what I'm doing. Okay? So that's what happened in the first hour of the show.
Talking
I asked
about?
that
It's
question.
99%.
And we got this
You're
call from Angus,
pessimistic.
Ontario.
Right.
His name is
I'm a
Dennis.
pessimist now.
Go.
And the answer to your question, it depends how much people know what's going on. People that haven't listened to anything, period, sure, maybe. But people that don't, and just bits and pieces along the way hear things.
So the problem,
They're very
Chuck, wasn't with
sad,
what word you
disgruntled. They
called
can't
me. It's the
believe
fact you're judging
what
me.
the government
You
is
fucking
doing
idiot.
and the amount of crap that you're ramming down our throats. A lot of what's in the media is BS. There's a lot of stuff that is not fed to us that is the exact truth. How come the fact that Rocco Galati, the massive court case that he just unleashed on the government, over how this pandemic is nothing but a fraud and a PCR test that gives false numbers.
Oh,
how come all of that never makes the media?
Here we go.
My question.
So I guess you didn't really want to go. I guess you really didn't want to answer my question. You wanted to access the platform to tell me that
talking about this.
So
maybe some of these are real fucking callers.
Is that where we're going with this?
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying it's 100% fake. It's definitely a serious flu.
Yeah, but the example you use is like you only let in
it's not killed nearly 30,000 people in Canada. Is that your point? Or?
Okay, well, another way of looking at things, the cold and flu doesn't just up and die, disappear, evaporate, gone like smoke, never to be seen again. There's a lot
it actually did. 17 people in Canada had the flu this year.
Dennis, thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot.
Bad enough to end up in the hospital, and there be a record of it.
I thank Dennis. I tried to be polite. Tried not to call them names.
Normally there's 700.
I don't want to be doing that. I just wanted people to hear what they heard.
He said the flu won't just get up and disappear.
I can't tell you whether Dennis is representing
stop spitting at people.
10% of the public, 15%, but they're out there.
It came from birds. It'll fucking go away if you stop fucking around.
I thought to myself, why don't I just ask the folks? This is my family every night, okay, at the national kitchen table. I just thought I'd ask them, it all started out with me trying to put myself in the shoes of people who are not doing what I'm doing. And then it got to the point where I asked myself the question, what would people do in my shoes right now?
70% of diseases are zoonotic.
So I'm asking
where the other
to put yourself in
30%
my
come from?
shoes. And you've got a dentist calling
into existence.
What do you do?
I'm gonna change. Oh shit!
And I don't want to give you a whole bunch of choices.
I bet you're playing X minus
I don't
one
want to
right
load
now,
the barrel.
Chuck, you bastard.
I just want to ask you, when you hear that on the radio, if you were hosting the show, what would you do with that? And if you want to tell me that I mishandled it, handled the puck badly, it doesn't matter to me. I honestly don't care.
To another caller.
I just want to get a sense from you as to how you would deal with that coming at you. Because it's coming at you in all kinds of ways, every single day.
Well, I'm a shooter before it gets you. Fuck it.
And it's back sentiment. I don't look at it as trivial.
See, the time is, I'm not doing anything, but I was first.
How you at this national kitchen table want to respond to that message.
You guys are not hackers. You're just idiots that found software. And sooner or later, you'll die like all the other idiots that try to hurt me. Everybody that tries to hurt me dies. You ask me, people do why I don't do something about certain situations.
Talking to Dennis.
I've watched so many people
in Angus, Ontario. What?
I've watched so many people drop dead out of some stupid thing or another that tried to hurt me. So it's like, what am I supposed to do? I'm gonna do something to what? Somebody that's probably gonna drop dead, historically, statistically, probably gonna drop dead. So anyway.
Night.
You've been denied your long-term disability or cut off by the insurance.
That's oddly enough not what happened.
For a significant reform of the security sector. They don't think that the problem is that they're exerting excess force. They think that the problem is that some of these indigenous organizations and protest groups have been, quote unquote, infiltrated by insurgent organizations. So until there's a disposition to listen and a real understanding of the situation at hand, I think that there's no real evident solution ahead.
Well, Afro-Dutch have been here since
Sergio co-founder and director of the Colombia Risk Analysis Political Consultancy, talking to us from Cali in Colombia.
Still to come, vaccine hesitancy, and Bob Marley, 40 years after his untimely death. 16 minutes past the 1.15.
Untimely? He died exactly on schedule. One thing I know about cancer, all their treatments kill you faster. We got rid of the cancer, yeah, but now you got radiation poisoning. Thanks. Oh yeah, this is what I was going to
Ask your dealer for Fatima.
He's going to tell me he's got purple kush. You're going to be Dragnet, right? Or a gun smoke. Yeah. These are fucking kill you.
June 25th, Thursday, 12:30 a.m. I had 2.5 hours to raise $10,000. The narcotics dealers, Howard Scully and his partner, Jim Rhodes, had laid it out for me. Either I had the money by 3 a.m. or there was no deal. If it failed to come off, our plan to trap the narcotics gang would be worth nothing. Rhodes and Scully could possibly find another buyer without our knowledge, make a deal, and flood the market with their store of narcotics. I knew it'd be impossible to get the $10,000
Is that where all these white
together.
people get this
We had
idea?
only one alternative, fake our way as best we could. I went back to the hotel, put a call through to Captain Kearney at the office.
Is that where white people get this idea they're going to flood the market? That's not a real thing, eh? It's not a real thing. It's like the Canadian government spent $5 billion one day trying to influence the value of the dollar, and they couldn't. Spent $5 billion in one trading day. It was basically $1 billion an hour.
30 a.m. The money was tied in 2 small bundles, with hundreds, 50s, and 20s on top. $1 bills were sandwiched in between. The 2 bundles were placed in a briefcase and delivered to me at the hotel on 5th Street. The gun was also in the briefcase. I took it out, put it in my pocket, closed the briefcase. 2:45 a.m. I left the hotel with the money and started for the big meet. 3 a.m. 7th and Alameda.
McMillan, how are you?
Scully?
We're down this way. Hear the money?
Well, your pal said all or nothing. I got it.
Let's have a look.
How about the merchandise?
We can check at the cards right down here.
Rhodes?
Rookie questions he's asking.
All right. Money?
Yeah, that's right. I got the money. Now, how about a look at this stuff? I'd like to know what I'm buying.
We can stop on the way for a sample. Okay, Howard. Have some, McMullen?
What do you got?
Cashew nuts. Have some.
Thank you.
There's lots of heat in this town. Cops are thick as flies.
Yeah, that's right. Rough time. I gotta be careful.
What's the reason, anyway? When did it start?
Well, about 6 weeks ago, Bulls tagged some high school kids. Half of them.
Huh?
What for? Well, they were regular hypes. Just punks, 18-year-olds. A couple of them were 17.
Young squirts.
Yeah, and the heat's gonna get worse. One of the punks cashed in yesterday. Read it in the paper. Overdose.
Not gonna help, is it?
Well, I'll tell you one thing. I'm playing it close. I got good customers, and I'm not gonna risk my neck.
How much stuff do you think you can handle a month, McMullen?
No thanks, no more. Oh, I got about 30 mainliners. They're regular and they're sure. 8-10 ounces a week, but they like good stuff, no alley hype junk.
Howard must have told you that's all we handle, good stuff. If it goes right, we could make it a permanent connection with you.
Well, I'd like to see what you're offering first.
We'll have a good look. All right, Howard, you know where to pull up.
Yeah.
This does go all the way back to Myanmar.
You stay in the car, McMullen.
This will bring us back to Myanmar.
All right.
Trust me.
You. All right, Mac, you can get out.
Yeah.
There you go. Some of the best white stuff you've seen in a long time. Satisfy yourself?
Okay.
All right.
Okay, it's standard.
It's all good. Not just that simple.
Okay, I'll go.
Okay, now how about the money?
All right, have a look. There you are. 1 stack. 2 stacks, 100s, 20s, 10s. 2 5s in there. It's 10 grand. Satisfied?
Okay. Jim? Right. Excuse me, Mac, just a minute. Just check.
What do you think you're doing? Get your lousy hands off of me.
No offense, McMillan. These are simple precautions.
Precaution's nothing. We're doing business, aren't we? You shook me down once tonight. Now, how many times are going to take you?
No offense, Mac. You're just checking, that's all.
All right, then. Suppose I fan you 2 down. I got the dough. How do I know this isn't a hijack deal? Now, come on. This business works both ways. Either we have a deal or we don't. We play ball on both sides or not at all. I'm getting sick and tired of taking second place.
Okay, Mac. Okay, take it easy. Forget it, Howard. Let's all go back to the car. Sure. I'm sorry, Mac. No offense.
Yeah. Okay, let's close the deal. Where are we gonna go? Don't worry, it's a safe place. Okay, Howard. "3:35 a.m. In another hour, it'd start getting light. I knew they'd planned to have the buy take place before then. According to our plan, Ben, Sergeant Hunt, along with the other team of men from the State Narcotics Bureau, they were to tail us to the place of the meet and move in on a signal from me when the buy was actually in progress. 3:45 a.m. Scully drove out North Figueroa onto Pasadena Avenue and turned right onto Avenue 43. We headed up Montecito Drive.
We've heard this one several times.
The area became more deserted. There were no homes around, no buildings of any kind.
When he
Training day to drink. There we go.
With drunks anymore at parties, at the Hollywood parties, because he couldn't understand them. Yet when he was drinking, how you deal with these people that refuse to actually look at the picture that is in front of them? I don't know how you handle it, like how you handle it with such grace that you did. It just blew my mind. And to ask me, I can't answer that question. To ask me how I would have done it, I probably would have lost the license, sir. So
okay, I can give you a direct answer on that. What'd you say? Swearing like a sailor? Is that what
yeah, swearing like a sailor. Yeah,
okay,
you are extremely gracious on the microphone.
Well, you know, there are rules that we play by, clearly. But I'll give you a quick story. Do you have a moment for a quick story on that?
Sure. Are you going to tell me a big Jim Marshall story?
No. When I moved to the United States back in 1992, and I was there for 5 years, when I had been living there for less than 3 weeks, this is off the air stuff, not on the air, off the air. Some people would say to me, "Man, do you ever swear a lot?" And I said to them, I didn't know that I swear a lot. And then someone at this particular table in the restaurant said, "Yeah, Canadians, they just swear more than Americans. So you're just
allowed to swear on the radio.
Canadian. Every Canadian we meet down here swears
on TV,
a lot.
So we hear it all the fucking time."
So just a little. I did not know that about America. I didn't know that. I didn't know that Americans felt that way about us, and maybe that's the case. Maybe it's because we're so.
He's never heard of George Carlin.
Once again, this is off air. Do we have you in there?
It's just the way we express ourselves. You know, you got to throw in the inflections every once in a while, right?
Yeah.
The one guy that's not arguing with them is the wrong
reminding me, because it was one of my funniest evenings. It was down in Florida, and at some point, I guess I don't know whether I was laying down an F-bomb or an S-bomb or what I was doing. I don't think I was, going on and on and on like some people do who have absolutely no vocabulary. So every single word is an F-bomb or an S-bomb. I don't think it was that bad, but I guess, and I did, of course, I did a little bit of research on it, and Canadians, believe it or not, are thought to be by Americans as people who swear much more. It's not that Americans look down on us. It's just that we get a little
when Canadians call into American radio stations, we get cut off a lot and swear.
Nothing to do
and the American radio hosts notice that, and they're not sure why it happens. It's because in Canada, if we swear on the air, it's not a big deal even if it gets up.
Thank you very much for the conversation. We're going to continue with this conversation in just a few moments as we see the board lighting up with people who want to jump in on the question, what would you...
Mundane dry.
You have a bone in your body. You're going to have to get past this gun first. You're not going to stop all three. Oops. Never get us downtown, so we'll break you in half here, kill you. You just gave me an idea, Rhodes, huh? You're pretty tough. Shouldn't bother you. I'll kill the Swede right now. You and Scully can carry his body in front of me. We'll start walking down that road and we get the nearest place with a phone. I think that'll take care of it, won't it? He hasn't got the guts, Jim. Turn around, Swede.
Oh, don't kill me, mister. I'll go with you. Don't shoot.
Turn around. Stay where you are, Scully.
Don't kill him, copper. Don't kill Swede. We'll do anything you say. Somebody coming. Look, Mac, we'll give you every dime we own, $50,000 and tell him nothing's happened.
Ben, over here.
50 grand, Mac. You can't lose.
Back, Joe. Back over this way. 3 of them, Ben.
Okay. All right, behind your back. Come on. Couldn't get you any sooner, Joe. Had to park at the bottom of the hill at the same standstill, mister. Yeah. We circled around on foot, climbed up through the grass. I was beginning to think I lost you. All right, you two, get him behind your back. Back. Hi, Joe. Here's the junk right here. These 2 packages. Yeah. That ought to sew it up. Look, talk it over with your partners. $50,000. You do the right thing. It's all yours. How about it? 50 grand. You can't lose. What they talking about, Joe? Well, they got a big deal. They'll give us $50,000 if we let them go. How about it, Tex? You could use the dough, new car, new house. Just forget you ever saw us. Easy as that. 50,000 cash. What do you say, Tex, huh? Sorry, you got the wrong man. What? My name ain't Tex.
The story you just heard was true.
All 3 were shot.
Only the names
summarily.
were changed to protect the innocent.
In a moment, the results of their trial. Now, here is our star, Jack Webb.
Thank you. In his training, the working detective is taught the importance of thoroughness. He has learned never to overlook even the smallest detail. What may seem unimportant to the novice may well be the one thing to help the working detective successfully culminate his case. So with a cigarette. The people who make Fatima are well trained and thorough in the manufacture of their cigarette.
ZipRecruiter. The first day. ZipRecruiter.
I know people that can cook crack perfectly.
And now you can try
it's a good
ZipRecruiter
thing.
for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.ca/Canada. That's ZipRecruiter.ca/.
I'm gonna miss the sentencing.
Mae Washburn, Howard Lewis Scully, James Henry Rhodes, and John Swede Nelson were tried and convicted. They received their sentences as prescribed by law and are now serving their term in the state penitentiary. You have just heard Dragnet, a series of authentic cases, portions transcribed from official files.
This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
Time for everyone. Your safety is our #1 priority. Our showroom is currently
40, the voice of multicultural Toronto, bringing you the latest updates on COVID-19. Stay informed, stay safe, and stay tuned to Chin Radio AM 1540.
Now, as gunshots echo across the wind-swept, snow-covered reaches of the wild Northwest.
from all of us at True Tone Electronics.
Are we going to get a news update or a sequel?
Reset.
Hello, welcome. You're listening to Newsday on the BBC World Service with Lawrence Pollard and Claire MacDonald.
Today we're talking about Madagascar's worst drought in 40 years. More than 1 million people facing hungry.
Why the UN keeps getting it wrong. We'll look at peacekeeping failures in the Democratic Republic of Congo.
And Africa Daily, why young Ghanaians want their government to fix the country. All that plus the sport with Isaac. That's Newsday.
Calling on the province to increase resources to fund anti-gang investigations. The Federation says police services across Metro Vancouver, in particular the RCMP, have been under-resourced for far too long, contributing to the escalating violence. It's also calling on the Surrey Police Service to stop recruiting police officers from other detachments, including the Integrated Homicide Investigation Team. The Federation says now is not the time to be removing scarce resources from active service in the Lower Mainland. This comes after 2 fatal shootings around Metro Vancouver over the weekend, both believed to be gang-related, including one in broad daylight at Vancouver International Airport. Ontario healthcare workers are being added to a list of high-risk employees who can begin booking their second COVID-19 vaccine shot by the end of the week.
Healthcare workers were among the first groups to be prioritized for a first dose of the shot when Ontario began administering vaccines earlier this year. The province then extended dosing intervals from 21 days to 4 months, which means many workers are still waiting for their second dose. The province says all hospital and acute care staff in frontline roles, medical first responders, and long-term care home and retirement home healthcare workers will now be able to get their second dose faster, with details coming soon. Don Kelly, The Canadian Press, Toronto.
And Alberta's Justice Minister says the COVID-19 disaster is what provincial opposition, the federal government, and the media were looking for and want in the province. Casey Madhu made the comments on his Facebook page on Friday. He was defending new health restrictions aimed at reversing soaring case rates in Alberta. Premier Jason Kenney recently said now is not the time to point fingers and politicize the fight against COVID-19. Madhu's spokesperson declined to explain the minister's comments, but added that Madhu won't apologize for stating the obvious. From the Global News Desk, I'm Toby Carr.
You mentioned the hate groups. They didn't mention the hate group thing.
Mate, welcome to News. David Lawrence and Claire. This half hour we're going to Madagascar and asking is what do you feed your children? Locusts is one answer. Also, why Ghanaians want to hashtag fix the country. Blockchain in Ethiopia stopping cheating over exam results. And also, we talk about the role of peacekeepers. Frontline for Peace, a new book looking at the failures in many cases. We find out what the recommendations would be. Also, Isaac's here with the sport. Where will the final of the Champions League be played? Could it be Wembley now? It was Portugal when I went to bed last night. Isaac will be here to explain all. That's Tuesday.
Anyone with diabetes or who works in public transit is eligible today.
And some high-risk groups will now be eligible to move up their second dose sometime this week.
Over in Peel Region, they are now pushing to get 150,000 shots done this week. Called Doses After Dark, and it will be probably the coolest place to be on May 15th.
Are you fucking...
Peel's top doctor, Lawrence Lowson, is from 12:30 p.m. on Saturday to 8:30 in the evening on Sunday. Shots will be going in arms at the International Center in Malton. Hours have also been extended to 11 p.m. all week at 2 mass vaccination sites.
And more opportunities to get the COVID-19 vaccine at pop-up clinics in the GTA. From today until Thursday, North York Toronto Health Partners and North York General Hospital are working together to host a mobile vaccine clinic at George S. Henry Academy. This clinic is appointment only for those 18 plus living in the M3A, M3H, M2M, M2R, or M2J postal codes. And on arrival requires some form of ID and proof of address.
So even
open today is the
almost 100% of my customers are respectful. They wear their masks. They wear it properly. Even if some of them they have blow the nose, I tell them to put up the nose. No big deal. Really, not too much of an issue. I think the issue runs into is when they don't get vaccinated. We need a critical mass of people to get vaccinated, and so we need to minimize the amount of people that are, have these COVID denial beliefs.
Yeah,
and I
from
think
a business owner
standpoint, to minimize that effect.
Meaning he understands that the hospital.
So, are you suggesting that if I sort of came out of my shoes and really confronted him, that would give him and that crew more power?
Well, I think so. I mean, I wouldn't say, hey, Dennis, you're a total moron. You believe in ridiculous fairy tales. I would do what you did. I would share my reasons respectfully for getting vaccinated. I would share my evidence for COVID being real, and I would acknowledge
thin. He couldn't move because of starvation. So he was there all day long in the house, and there was this little girl who couldn't walk. She was already 2 years old, but she couldn't walk because of the famine. And they were lucky. They said they were lucky because of the locusts, because without the locusts, they would have died. That's what they told me.
And it comes to something where people are regarding that as a stroke of good luck.
That's not the first time I've said it, but when I started pushing that was
and it's not just the drought, is it? I mean, there are these bandits, the Dahal, who are making lives so much worse for these people. Who are they? Why are they there? And tell us how they're terrorizing these communities.
Indeed, you have this massive problem of insecurity, and it's not new. And basically, it's teenagers or adults who have no jobs, who don't know what to do, and who have nothing, and to survive or because they want to earn money rapidly, they steal cattle, they rob entire villages, they terrorize the population, and there is not enough staff from the administration, not enough police to arrest them. So basically, they are in a region.
Yeah, and you see the army going in, the police going into the region and giving people advice on how they can protect themselves. But what they also do is, when there are aid shipments, they kind of hijack those as well. So it's making things even more desperate when there is help almost getting to these people. This is also a problem, isn't it?
Yes, it's the main problem of those people, because they already they've been starving and they are victims of those Dahalu bandits. So the group of the group of army that I saw was the only one in a vast region. So it's very difficult to find a solution for this Dahalu bandits, because there's loads of them. So the villagers have to defend themselves and not wait for the army to help them. So there was this small group, but most of the time they are alone facing those bandits.
Okay, Gail, I mean, briefly, if you can, you've drawn this problem, the plight of these people, to the world's attention now. There was a policeman who'd been attacked also in your report who said, this is corruption, it goes to the centre of government, there's people in government who are protecting these bandits, these criminals come out and they get promoted in government. Is this at the heart of this? The government doesn't want to fix it because it's part of the problem?
Yes, corruption and complicity are part of the problem, definitely, and that's why it's so difficult to find a solution to this problem, because those bandits bring a lot of money, because they still like dozens of cattle, and it's a lot of money. So of course they have helping hands in the government, and some elites are accomplices.
Thank you for joining us, Gail. Gail Porter there, the reporter who made that documentary on the hunger crisis that is gripping the southern part of Madagascar.
Now we're going to talk about blockchain in Ethiopia and education. Blockchain, we've spoken about it before. Free